What's up everybody, it's your boy ARKSPeriel and welcome back to another video here on Ascension Dimension. We are now at episode 5 of 10 episodes in the Strength of Your Failure series. So we're halfway, and with this episode, we're going to be talking about everyone's favorite topic, and that's going to be food. So with this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly what it is that I tend to eat on a day-to-day basis in order to stay lean and to build strong muscle in order to go and achieve your fitness goals. So before we get started at looking at the actual food, I just want to go through a little bit about how diet is supposed to work and how you're supposed to structure your diet in order to achieve your goals. It depends what it is you are trying to achieve, whether you're trying to maintain or lose weight or you're trying to gain size and mass. And in order to do that, your diet goals are going to have to be very different. So if you're trying to gain mass, you have to be in what we call a caloric surplus. And that basically means that you are burning less calories than you're actually consuming in a day. On the other hand, if you're trying to lose weight or maintain the current weight that you're at, you are simply going to be in a caloric deficit, which means that you are consuming less calories than you are burning in a day, okay? So we're going to take a look here at the typical staple foods that I keep in my fridge in order to prep my meals and make them as nutritional but also as enjoyable as possible. And that's a big key. Part of your diet needs to be food that you enjoy. A lot of people think that you have to pick food that's simply healthy and make it in ways where you're not really gonna enjoy or it's not gonna taste good, and that's how you're setting yourself up for failure. Because part of this is you have to enjoy the food that you're consuming in order to stick with it, be motivated, and keep with it in the long term and make it part of your lifestyle. So let's look at a couple of the foods that I personally love. I love eating every single day. I never get tired of them. And I'm gonna put the nutritional facts on the screen so that way you guys can pause the video and look through the facts and make sure that you are picking foods that work best for you. All right, so we're gonna start with just about everyone's favorite food group, and that's gonna be our proteins, okay? So some of my favorite proteins are chicken breast. I'm a huge fan of chicken breast. I could have chicken at just about every day. It never gets old, it never gets tiring. It's chock full of protein and it's very lean, it's very clean for you, and it's absolutely a great protein to keep in your fridge. A couple of other proteins that I'm a huge fan of is salmon. I love all fish, but salmon is by far my favorite fish. It's super high in protein and it has really good essential fats that are actually good for your body and help re-energize your muscles and help give you energy to burn. I eat red meat quite often. Some people don't eat red meat as much. I'm simply a fan, but I have a sirloin steak. It's very low in fat, but it's again chock full of protein. Then we have ground turkey. Ground turkey, this one is 93% lean, 7% fat, so it's pretty low in fat, but it's again very high in protein, and you can use it in a whole bunch of different ways, especially if you're not a huge fan of beef. So if you want to make, pasta sauces or things of that nature and you don't feel like using beef, ground turkey is a phenomenal alternative. And then shrimp. Love shrimp. Shrimp is something that I can eat just about every single day, non-stop, super high in protein, very easy to cook, very easy to throw into just about anything, whether it's a salad, whether it's a pasta, whether it's just on the side with your meal. It's one of my absolute favorite proteins to consume. And then for people who are vegetarian or vegan and these meat products aren't for you, there's still plenty of other options where you can get just as much protein. Eggs are another phenomenal protein. I eat eggs just about every single morning. Chock full of proteins, and even though they can be high in cholesterol, as long as you use a healthy balance of whole eggs and egg whites, you're setting yourself up for success. And then for people who might be vegan or just need other alternatives of getting protein, You can always pick things like tempeh or tofu, which are very high in protein and are soy-based, so that way you're not consuming animal products and you're still getting that protein intake that is necessary for your body. So those are my typical staple proteins. Now we're gonna get into our healthy carbs, vegetables. I'm a huge fan of broccoli. Broccoli is one of those that's very low in calories. It's super easy to make. You can steam it, you can grill it, you can bake it, you can broil it, and it's very easy to eat. And you can have a cup or two and not gain a lot of calories and still feel full, which is extremely important, especially when you're trying to lose weight. I love spinach. Spinach is something that I can eat just about every single meal. It has great vitamins, great nutrients, and it's a great carbohydrate to have on the side with your proteins that is, again, low in calories. And even though it cooks down quite a bit, you can have a cup or two of it and it's really good for you. I'm a huge fan of onions. Onions have some great vitamins, it has some great nutrients, and it's just one of my more preferred vegetables to consume. I don't eat raw onions, I'm not a fan, so I will always saute them or something, and that's a great side dish to put with my proteins. I'm a huge fan of avocados. I think avocados are a great vegetable. They taste good. They're super high in healthy fat, which is very essential for your body, as well as a good source of healthy carbohydrates. And then on days where I want a vegetable that's a little bit more carb dense and a little bit heavier, especially if I'm lifting heavy or training harder than I usually do, I will eat my absolute favorite sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are by far probably my favorite carbohydrate. It's a little heavy on sugars and it's definitely heavier on the carbs, but especially with the skin intact, it is very beneficial for you, full of wonderful nutrients, full of great healthy carbs, and it's absolutely worth it if you're trying to put on a little bit of weight or if you're trying to supplement some intense training and you need that energy to fuel your body. And then last but not least, we're gonna get into the grains. Now, I am a huge fan of quinoa. Quinoa is something that you can use in a huge variety of different ways. It tastes great. You can add it with just about anything, and it's not as starchy as rice, and it's a little bit easier to eat. So I would highly recommend quinoa if it's something that you're into. And then I also do have brown rice in my pantry. I think brown rice is absolutely better than white rice as it's more natural, it's a whole grain, and it's a good grain to have when you are trying to replenish your energy after the end of a workout. A couple of other grains that I typically do are whole grain pasta. Every now and then, if you get a craving for something like a pasta dish, then using something like whole grain pasta, it can be a good alternative as opposed to just regular pasta. Now, you have all these foods and it's healthy, it might be clean, it's good for you, but there's a little bit more than just eating properly in order to achieve your goals and to where you want to be physically. And a big part of it is having a schedule, okay? If you just eat to eat and don't really plan your day out, chances are you might overeat or you might undereat and you'll end up hurting your body and not helping it achieve the goals that you're setting for yourself. So I'm gonna put my schedule right here. I tend to wake up anywhere from 9 to 10 o'clock, and after about an hour after I've woken up, I will turn around and have a semi-intense exercise that's a little bit more focused on cardio, and then I will turn around and I will fast up until 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I will get into intermittent fasting and why I do it and why I think it's good for you in a separate video. After I have my first meal at around 1 or 2, I will continue about my day, whether it's work or doing something else, up until about my second meal, where it'll be at around 3 or 4 o'clock. And Then I will turn around and have my intense training session at around 6 or 7 in the evening, to which about 30 minutes to an hour after that, I will have my last meal of the day before I go to sleep and turn around and repeat. So having a schedule for yourself not only helps you know exactly what you're gonna eat and when you're gonna eat it, but it makes sure that you are eating at the appropriate times, that your body is getting the nutrients that it needs to, when it needs to, and that you're not overeating or undereating, thus not able to achieve your goals. Personally, with my goals and the way I train, I'm trying to maintain my weight more than I'm trying to build or lose weight. So I will typically keep my meals anywhere from not 800 to 900 calories. It's what works for me with the intensity that I train, as well as the amount of times that I train in a day. So you have your schedule, or you have the staple ingredients in your fridge that are good for you and that will help you achieve your goals. Then comes the question of cooking it. Now, there are a plethora of ways that you guys can cook these ingredients that I have here in order to make food that you truly enjoy and that you truly love and that you're excited to eat, not just feel like you have to eat. And I will get into a couple of videos in the foreseeable future where I show you guys some of my secret recipes on how I cook in order to stay lean and still build dense and strong muscle. However, one thing that we do have to keep in mind, and that I hope you guys will consider, is even though you want this food to taste good, you want it to taste the way it will make you happy, as soon as you start adding excess amount of condiments and you start mixing too many additive things with your meals, even though it might not look like a lot, those additional calories, those additional fats, those additional carbs can add up in the long run and blow your nutrition out of the water and ruin the effects that you are trying to achieve by eating the way that you're supposed to be eating. So that kind of concludes our talk about nutrition and how these staple foods can help you achieve your fitness goals. Now, I want to leave you guys with one thing before we close off this video. The science of food is not black or white. It's very gray. And so what works for me and what works for you most likely will not be the same thing. So I'm gonna highly encourage you guys, do listen to what I'm telling you, because these are staple foods and staple practices that will help you regardless in your fitness journey. However, do keep in mind that you might need to alter your diet. You might need to eat a little bit more or eat a little bit less, or consume certain things or consume less of other things in order to truly achieve the goals that are set for you. So this will never be a black or white topic, and I recommend that you guys do your research, really look into what you're eating and listen to your body, see what works best for you, and use the community as a guideline to truly better yourself. But at the end of the day, it does come down to your body and what works best for you. Okay? Now, do share this with a friend, anyone who you feel like may need some advice in order to eat healthy, whether it's being able to start actually making a change in their nutritional diet, or need a way to understand how to make that change. So with that, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so that you guys can see all the future content that we're gonna have. We're gonna teach you guys a lot. We have a lot of fitness content coming out, and end of the day, I'm here to truly make sure that you guys can take the first steps to create a better you and to achieve the goals that you set for yourselves. So with that, have a great rest of your day. Take care, and we'll see you next time.